Om Shanti. What we just practiced in the meditation is based on Baba's Murli today. And Baba says that just like someone who performs at the circus is considered to be very adept, very skilled, and what is the skill they have? They are able to position their body however they want, whenever they want, and for whatever time they want to position it in a certain way. And that flexibility earns them the name that they are very skilled and very adept at these acrobats. But Baba says you are not known for your physical proficiency. Baba is a spiritual teacher, and what he is teaching us is to be spiritually proficient. And Baba says, what is your speciality? Just like they can position their body however they want for whatever time they want, you can position your buddhi however you want and with whomever you want, wherever you want, for however long you want. And you can just concentrate your buddhi according to your choice. So that is your speciality. Now, are you able to do that? If you want to just turn your buddhi inwards, and I explain in the course that what does the buddhi do? So buddhi is like a muscle, and you can exercise it to turn your attention inwards. You can just pull your attention from the external world and take it inwards, or you can take your attention to the beyond, to your sweet home or to your sweet father. And then the buddhi can also concentrate. So you can just anchor your attention wherever you want, for however long you want. And then the buddhi creates an image. So in order to facilitate the attention, you can just hold on to a mental image of where you want to concentrate. So are you able to do that? Are you able to take your buddhi off this body and this physical world and matters in the physical world which are troubling you, upsetting you, giving you sorrow or pain or making you upset? Are you able to shift your buddhi from all of that and turn it inwards and to Baba whenever you want and for however long you want? Are you able to do that? How many are able to do that? Okay, some are able. Now, can you do it for like 8 hours? If I ask you just for 8 hours, know where your buddhi goes and you're just seeing Baba and yourself as a soul with your mental eye. Can you do that? It looks difficult, right? Right now, you think that it's possible, but maybe it will be a little discontinuous. Yes, you'll remember and then probably skip for some time and then again remember. So the link will be there, but it could be broken in between, right? Now, Baba says, even an acrobat doesn't do it very easily. They need years of practice. Yes, and then they also condition their body in such a way that it is flexible, right? So they eat the right kind of food, they exercise, and all of that stuff allows their body to have a certain amount of flexibility. Now, Baba says, how can you, the soul, be so flexible that whenever you want to turn inwards or to the beyond, you're able to do that? So, what is the preparedness that you need to be able to do that? So, Baba has underlined two qualities today. One quality is always staying beyond. In Hindi, it is called Upram Sthiti. Upram Sthiti is a stage where you are always in the awareness that I am separate from the body. Okay, so this is a stage where you can always see yourself and the body as two things. And you know, you want to use the body, you use the body, you don't want to use the body. You can just stay in the awareness of you as a peaceful soul. So Baba says, train yourself to always stay in this stage of being beyond. And the second thing Baba says is, train yourself to be ever ready. Now, what is ever ready? You know that we will have to go back home and we might be called any time. Yes? Many people were called and they instantly left, correct? Yes? And we have seen this COVID time and we understand that there is no time for leaving the body. So, when we may be called any time, what is the quality we need to have? We need to be ever ready. Now, let's say one thing, just test yourself on this. So, if you are asked to just stop and stand or sit in soul consciousness and in remembrance of Baba in the middle of a task. So let's say you're doing some office work and you're engaged in it and you're asked to stop and remember Baba. How long will it take you to disconnect from what you were doing and the thoughts of what you were doing and unplug from that scene and take your attention to Baba? You have to check yourself. Now, what if death comes at that time? Will you ask it to wait? Wait until I finish my job? Wait until it is 6 or 7 in the evening and I can go home and I have time for you? No. And the thing is, when we leave the body, the stage in which we leave the body will determine my onward journey. So Baba says you should always be ever ready. Always know that there is no good time to meditate, just like there is no good time to leave the body. Just like every time is a good time to leave the body because you may be called anytime. Similarly, whenever and so this, how do you practice being ever ready? So the practice of being ever ready is done through traffic controls. And there is an app on, so there is an app that we have developed for traffic control, or you may set your alarms at those times, and preferably every 1 minute in every hour. And then we have other timings also, like 3:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and then 12 in the noon. So there are other timings, fixed timings of traffic controls also. So if you have the app, then there is a music that goes off at that time. Yes, so there will be a song that will be played, or suddenly, you are in the middle of something and then it's traffic control time and that song starts getting played. And then what you have to do is, whatever you are in the middle of, you just stop and become soul conscious and remember Baba. You're not allowed to think whether to stop or not to stop. And when you go to Madhuban, to Mount Abu with me, which you will very soon, and I will tell you when to go and what are the dates, and you can choose to go whenever you want. So when we go to Madhuban, or you will see this thing that in Madhuban there are this traffic control music gets played at its time, whenever it's time, that music starts getting off. And then in Madhuban, whatever anybody is doing, you're walking on the inside the campus, or you are talking or eating, and suddenly everybody stops and they just sit in soul consciousness and in remembrance of Baba, and it's very beautiful. So Baba says, this is the way to train yourself to be ever ready. And Baba says you have to practice staying beyond this body. And how do you do that? When you practice this traffic control, then you're practicing to come to a state of soul consciousness in the midst of activity and chaos. So this helps you to not stay in a sucked in state. So you are working, you are with the family, you are doing your job, but you're not sucked into it. Staying in the beyond is like floating. You're in the water but above the water. So Baba says you can be like that boat who is in the water but above the water, and the water doesn't get into it, it's not sinking. So Baba says if you are in these two stages, that is the state of being in the beyond and stage of being ever ready, then you will be able to keep your intellect, keep your buddhi anchored wherever you want and for however long you want, and you will be like a spiritual acrobat who can do that vis-a-vis that physical acrobat who is appreciated for physical stuff, physical flexibility. So this is something that Baba is telling us. Another thing that Baba today is telling us is, if you want to be loving and cooperative, then you have to be easy-natured and tolerant too. Yes? So Baba is talking about 4 qualities: being loving, being cooperative. And Baba says if you want to be truly loving and truly cooperative, then you need these 2 other qualities, which is you have an easy nature and you have tolerance. Now you see that nobody wakes up thinking, I don't want to be loving and cooperative today. Do you get up in the morning and say, today I'm not going to be loving and cooperative with anybody? Nobody says that. Everybody wakes up with the intention to be loving and cooperative. Correct? When you get up in the morning, you intend to be loving and cooperative with people around you, with situations, with everyone and everything. But then what happens is our nature is not easy. So we start complex thinking. We start analyzing too much. And when you analyze anything too much, then the consequence is you will only end up seeing the bad in them. Because you dig anything too deep, you only find the dirt these days. So Baba says, keep it easy. You know this is Kali Yuga. You know that every soul is weak. You know everybody is carrying sanskars that are not that sweet. So be easy. Don't overthink. Don't analyze too much. Yes, don't complicate it unnecessarily. Let me give you a very simple example. You know somebody is lying. Yes? Why do you spend 1 hour thinking about why they lie, how they lie, and, coercing them to accept they are lying? You know they are lying. That's enough for you, because there's a very good saying, a lie is not a lie if you know the other person is lying. You know they are lying anyway, so they can't dupe you, they can't cheat you. Why can't you be easy on that? You can tell them, I know you're lying, so stop it. That's it. Why do you have to be so angry, so feel so pathetic about it? It's okay, it's a Kalyugi sanskar. And what does the soul need? Why is the soul hiding? Why is that person not able to come up with the truth for you? Because they're scared. They don't have confidence in you. And what would love and cooperation do? Build that bridge. They will sooner or later be assured that they can tell you the truth. But you have to have an easy nature. Too much analysis, too much thinking is not going to help. And then you also need some tolerance. You know that people will not be your way and situations will not be your way. But if your method of dealing with that situation, which is not your way, or dealing with those people who are not your way, is blocking your energy of love and cooperation, then you will run out empty. Yes, so if somebody is not your way, some situation is not your way, what you do is you use your power of tolerance and stay loveful and cooperative anyway. Because it's not about them, it's about you. And we've understood very well that if I keep blocking my energy of love all the time, then what I don't use will be lost in some time. And then I will be empty of love because I'm not using my spiritual energy of love in action. So Baba says, just use your power of tolerance. And when we studied about the power of tolerance, the picture we understood corresponds to it is a child is throwing stones on a mango tree and the tree is giving mangoes to the child. So you are capable of giving love and cooperation even if somebody is throwing stones. If a tree is capable of that, you are also capable of that. Just remember that power you have within you. Yes, even if somebody is shouting at you, can you smile and hold them lovingly? Can you smile and just hold them lovingly? If you can do that, I tell you, they will stop shouting. And I have done that in many cases. They are shouting, you become easy, you become tolerant. You remember it's completely possible and in my power to smile and hold them lovingly at this time. And just see how they'll melt. Love is very infectious. Somebody doesn't cooperate with you, you cooperate with them. They will cooperate with you. I'll tell you one incident. This was shared by one sister, and there was this another sister, and she was taking decisions that were not good in the long, that wouldn't turn out to be good in the long run. And then she had become very adamant about, I want to do this and this is the right thing to do according to me and stuff. And then this other sister was sent by Dadi to convince her. And then you know what happened? This sister wouldn't listen to her. She wouldn't talk to her. She wouldn't sit in the place she was sitting. And she refused to cooperate totally. She treated her like she has come uninvited. And then she just refused to acknowledge her presence. And then what this sister did, the one sent by Dadi, what she did was, she started cooking her favorite food. She started cooking her favorite food all 3 times a day and started greeting her whenever she came from Seva and started talking to her lovingly even if she didn't answer what she was saying. And then after 4 to 5 days, the sister started to listen to her and they could reach a reconciliation. So this is the power of love and cooperation. If you want to operate together, you have to cooperate. But if you do not emerge your power of tolerance, you cannot cooperate. You may have the intention to cooperate, but as soon as you see the differences between you and them, you will soon block that intention to cooperate. But if you just emerge this power to tolerate, so what if they are throwing stones? I can still shower them with good fruits, fruits of virtues. And if you can just show this one gesture, then you will cooperate and they will cooperate back, and then you can operate together and make everything productive. So no task can be done alone. The power of cooperation, the power of love is very important. But for you to have true power of love and cooperation, you need, and sustained power of love and cooperation, you need the power to be easy in nature and the power to tolerate. This is very important. Now, This is not only limited to the family that we think is our family, whether it's the office place or the family at home, but now we are also part of a spiritual family. Yes, and before that, there is this question, isn't that encouraging others' bad behavior? See, bad behavior is coming from a weak place. This is what we are learning. A soul that's weak is engaging in bad behavior. And if you want to understand this, just look at any time in the past where you behaved really badly and ask yourself whether you were very strong at that time or very weak at that time. When you're strong, your behavior is good. When you're weak, your behavior goes bad. When there's something you're afraid of, there's something that you're attracted to and you're not getting it, you are under the sway of desire, you are under the sway of jealousy, then you're behaving badly. And weakness requires compassion, not judgment. And you have to use this to experience this. If you just apply this thing, and I have seen in this whole journey, however long it has been, I have seen that what Baba says about weakness and bad behavior is absolutely true. And when you're compassionate and you have the balance of love and law, that is, you are upholding law within yourself, and to the other soul, you are extending that love, then you will be able to pull them to that place where they will respect this balance between love and law. And they will start cooperating with you. And if you just reject them or judge them for who they are, then you'll end up losing, even if that soul is 30%, 30% good and 70% bad, you lose that 30% also. You anyways end up losing. And there is no perfect person you will find, so you have to make do with what you've got. And there's a very good saying, work with what you've got. Remember that, work with what you've got. Don't think if you reject this, you'll find better. No. Work with what you've got, and in the process, maybe you'll find better. But by rejecting, you'll never find better. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, I was talking about the spiritual family also. And Baba says, this family that Baba has created is with a purpose. And the purpose is that we can operate together to create Satyug. Yes, so we all have one mission: to become pure and create a pure world. And when we are part of this family also, in order to keep up this love and cooperation, which will enable us to create a better world together, we need to have power to tolerate an uneasy nature. If we keep finding faults with each other also, we will be going nowhere. Yes, so there will be times when I will see something but I will have to adopt an easy nature, tolerate and let go. And there will be times when you will see something, maybe not only with me, but with other brothers and sisters. And then you will have to also adopt an easy nature and tolerate and let go. And when you do that, then we'll be able to continue in this journey and create a better world with this cooperation and love. Okay, so this is something. Also today, Baba is asking us for one promise and giving one promise. So what is the promise Baba is asking us to make? Baba is saying, promise me that you give me all your vices. Okay? And Baba says, if you do that, and if you remember me, so when you give up vices, then you will not remember people, places, and things. Because they stick to your buddhi because you're vicious. And when you give up on vices and you remember me, then I promise to absolve you of your sins. Okay? Now, how many of you promise to give up your vices? Okay. Now, do you know what that means? What are the vices? Lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. Giving up lust means celibacy. Giving up anger means in no circumstance whatever you're allowed to react. Giving up ego means anybody slaps you, you still put a garland of, appreciation around their neck. Okay, so now are you ready to give up your vices? Now nobody is raising hands, because we commit without even knowing what we are talking about. Now Baba says, you have to promise me to give up your vices. Okay, and Baba says, when you make that promise, then in return I will absolve you of your sins. But there is another thing that Baba points out, which is, you want to grow the flowers of virtues, you better fortify them with the fence of power. So if you intend to grow flowers, you should also intend to protect them from the attack of insects and pests and other stuff. So Baba says, just intending to give up vices and become virtuous is not enough. You have to build your spiritual strength through the power of yoga, so that when Maya attacks you, when difficult circumstances, difficult people come up, and they urge you, they incite you to use your vices again, then you're able to commit to your promise to Baba because you have the spiritual strength. So this balance between intention and action is very necessary. So when you intend to grow the flower of virtues, you have to act enough, fill yourself with enough spiritual strength so that you have the power to defeat the challenges that come in the way of your intending to be upholding virtues. Okay, so you reflect on this point and we will take it up more in another session. So long for today, because today is Sat Guruvar and we lovingly offer bhog to Baba, and we'll collectively do that in a few minutes. And there are some Baba's children who have their birthday or their anniversary, and there is one who just undertook a test and is waiting for a result today. So they have all sent some contribution for the bhog, and they are all waiting to send special remembrances to Baba. So we will take their remembrances also and our remembrances to Baba, and collectively take the bhog to Baba. In 2 minutes, you have to wait until I direct you to the other room. Om Shanti.